Hello, and thank you for watching my screencast-o-matic about Gallagher versus Campbell and Latimer. I'll be comparing and contrasting these two books, as well as talking about the implications for the EdTPA, my teaching placement, and also I'll go over some questions to consider. Comparing the two. They are both super wonderful texts that will help any English teacher, so I gave them both a gold star. Also, they both talk about writing for an audience and the importance of giving the students somebody else outside of the classroom. The look into how are they writing, what are they writing about, and this ignites a certain passion and excitement to the students' writing. Both authors talk about the use of model texts or mentor texts, and they stress this is important because when the students see an appropriate model, they'll understand more clearly of what they need to do to achieve greater things in their writing. And they'll also start to have a picture of how to elevate their writing. The students also need choice in the classroom. Both authors talk about the power of choice and how it makes the students feel a sense of authority in the classroom and like they have a say in what they're doing. Again, another thing that both authors talk about is reading a lot. They highlight the importance of reading as a means to develop their writing, just being exposed to new words, sentence structures, etc. is vital for improving writing. Last but not least, they both talk about the philosophy of writing and how it shouldn't be this boring, drab, tooth-pulling type activity. Instead, it should be a means of discovering knowledge, developing ideas, exploring thoughts, and that sort of more human and interesting side of writing. Contrasting the two, Kelly Gallagher was more about detailing and fine-tuning writing and improving students' writing, whereas Campbell and Latimer were more about structuring the writing and breaking free from, you guessed it, that 5-paragraph essay. And they also talk about grading, particularly rough drafts. Campbell and Latimer say that teachers shouldn't grade rough drafts so harshly because it is the student's first time writing something, and we want to encourage them to revise and beef up their writing, and therefore we shouldn't grade their rough drafts as hard as the final draft. Implications of all this for the EdTPA is, well, we have scholarship. Anytime we mention modeling in our EdTPA, or getting to know our students, providing a focus, we can refer back to Gallagher and Campbell and Latimer. Since all of them talk about using model texts, they encourage teachers to provide a focus for their students. Both say we need to get to know our students. That's important in developing our lesson plans, and then plus the EdTPA wants us to describe how we know our students and how that has influenced the lesson plan. Implications for my teaching placement in particular, well, these are some things that I've taken from the text and will use in my class. Gallagher writes, give students steady, irrefutable skills that will be important no matter what they will write or will need to write. Although CCSS are important in the classroom, I also want to be sure that I'm teaching so that these are lifelong lessons. It's not just, I want a product from you, I want to give you a grade, I want to go into the next thing. Another thing Gallagher mentions I really like is using model text. We should read, analyze, then emulate. I think this provides a clear sequence for what is expected in close reads and reproducing works that we can use as models. Campbell and Latimer had a wealth of ideas that I want to steal from my classroom, including introduction letters that I found on page 18. I will be taking over for another class, so I want to get to know the students and use these introduction letters. Some more ideas, we're using eulogies, poem parodies, and changing the setting of the text. So for example, if we're talking about let's say the Motorcycle Diaries, and instead of Che Guevara going through Latin America, what if he was traveling through Southeast Asia? What sort of things would he see? Questions to consider. I won't bore you with reading these questions, but in some, since it is getting up to 7 minutes now, close reading always creates strong writing. If the students don't understand what they're reading, then they probably won't produce their best writing response to it. Providing scaffolds to our students is key to supporting the language demands. And these scaffolds do include some of these aspects that Gallagher and Campbell and Latimer mention, with providing models, and with models you might point out sentence starters or how to use a comma, etc., etc. We improve the students' use of language and to develop their understanding through modeling and word consciousness. Through modeling, the students can gain a higher awareness of what good writing looks like, and through our guidance of asking the students to highlight or circle words that stand out to them and have a discussion around that, they can develop word consciousness. Thank you for watching my Screencast-O-Matic. Have a great rest of your Sunday.